Hi, Pam Smith here. I'm going to explain to you an activity called star puzzles. So here's what one looks like. This is straight from the KrazyDad website, KrazyDad. He calls it star battles. I prefer to simply call it star puzzles. You can see that it is a grid. And in this case, it has 8 rows and 8 columns, so an 8 by 8 grid. Let me show you the rules. Okay, there are 4 pretty simple rules. You need to place exactly 1 star in each row of the puzzle. You need to place exactly 1 star in each column of the puzzle, exactly 1 in each region, and I'll explain that term in a second. And no star can be adjacent to another star, not even diagonally. So every time you place a star, imagine that you have to keep all the squares around it empty of other stars. So let's get back to the puzzle. So by region, what I mean is these areas that are bordered by the dark, thick black lines. So in this particular puzzle, I have a fairly good sized region right in the center of the puzzle. I have a fairly good sized region over here on the right hand side, some smaller regions here, and the smallest possible region right here. And in an 8 by 8 puzzle like this, you will find there are 8 regions. Always the same number of regions that there are rows and columns. So remember, we have to place 1 star in each column, row, and region, and no star can be right next to another star. So I'm going to take you through this by annotating right on it, doing some drawing. Okay, so I'm going to start right here. Since this region is so small, there's only 1 place that that star can be, so I will just draw it right in. Okay, now remember, in each row, I can only have 1 star. So that means nowhere else in this row can I put a star. So let's look at this region over on the left-hand side. So that means I cannot put a star anywhere right here. So that means for this region, the star will have to be in the bottom row, which means that nowhere else on the bottom row am I allowed to put another star. There's only 1 star per row. So coming back to this region, I'm not allowed to put a star here or here. I'm not allowed to put a star here because remember, there's going to be one over here. Don't know where exactly, but it's going to be in one of these 2 spots. So the only place I can put a star in this region is right here. Okay, let's look at this L-shaped region over here. Now remember, only 1 star per row, so that means since I have placed a star here, I cannot put a star here or here. So the star in this region must be in this leftmost column, which means nowhere else in this column will I be able to put another star. So coming back to this region down here, remember we had already ruled out no star here, no star here, no star here, but also because there's going to be a star above it right here in this column, no star here. Which means there's only 1 place left for the star in this region, so it must be down here. Then I'm going to show you one other spot that is kind of a nice place to look. Over in this region on the right-hand side, remember every column must have one star in it. So this column has to have a star, this column has to have one star, but every region can only have one star in it. So we're going to put a star somewhere in this column, which would be the star for that region. So that region would be done. So when we move over to the second column, wherever I put a star, it cannot be in that same region. It has to be in a different region, which means it must go here. And remember, I figured that out without knowing where the star was going to go in this region, but I just knew that in that second column, the star cannot be in that same region. It has to be in a different region because only one star can be in every region. So we have found 4 stars, so we're halfway done with the puzzle. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to do some erasing so I can show you how this works when you do it online. Okay, so now this is a live web page, and this is how you will be solving these during the workshop. So I'm going to do, again, basically what I just took you through when I was annotating. Now, when you do these online, if you click once, you get just a dot, and that can be a mark, like my X's were marks for me. But if you click it second time, you actually get the star. So if you want to, you could mark places that you know a star will not be allowed to be placed, if that helps. If it doesn't, you can simply click a couple more times until it's back to a blank square. So I'll leave that to you if you want to use the dots as marks. So I think we figured out that these were not going to have stars because of that star. So the star in this region has to be in the bottom, which rules out these, which means the star has to go here. And then we looked over here and we decided the star must be in one of these 2 squares, which rules out these, which means the star in this region has to go here. And then we went up here. So again, if you click once, you get a dot. If you click a second time, you get the star. And then you can investigate on your own what these icons down below are for. There is the question mark. You can access the instructions again at any time. And then just click on that to get rid of it. Okay, last thing I'm going to show you is a solved puzzle. And I actually took this activity with me on my last visit to the Navajo Nation, which was last March. And I used a lot of these star puzzles with students, and they really liked them. They were really good at solving them. And I took pictures of their work when it was completed. So again, this is an 8x8. And so I gave the student the puzzle, which I had printed out on cardstock, so it would hold up a little bit more after lots of use. And I gave them 8 centimeter cubes to place on the puzzle. Now, as an instructor, if you came over to the student and wanted to check, has the student really solved this puzzle properly, you need to check those 4 items. Is there a cube in each column? And it does look like that is the case. Is there a cube in each row? And again, it does look like the student has placed exactly one in each row. Is there 1 cube per column, per region? And again, it does look like that is satisfied. And then we have to make sure that no 2 cubes are right next to each other, even diagonally. And it does look like that is the case. These cubes are pretty close, but there are empty squares around this one. There are empty squares around this one. So this student did solve the puzzle correctly. So that is star puzzles. Hope you enjoy them.